And we're live.
Yeah, I do that when I watch NBA games. I do that a lot. I was like, oh my god, that's such a sweet move. LeBron going in for the great dunks. I watch a lot of NBA. I'm a huge basketball fan. I used to play basketball in Iraq as well. So I do that, what you just described in basketball. And like at the end, I'm like, oh my god, more like the fat guy sitting in the courtside watching the game. That's me, not LeBron.
Even like if you fantasize like, man, what if I were in the NHL? It's like, all right, well, baseline fantasy, we got to make you like 6'8" and 300 pounds because you don't even meet like the base level of athleticism. So they'd have to bring you in as like, hey, he's big and is good, kind of like so already it's like, god damn it, like now there's no chance. There's no way. Even in my fantasies, I couldn't do it. I'm still getting the puck stolen from me.
If I'm going to have a fantasy like this, and in a similar way, I have to do this to enjoy like fantasy movies or most movies. I have to suspend my disbelief. I have to make it a real kind of scenario in which this could happen. I can't just be like if I'm fantasizing jerking off, I can't just picture like, oh yeah, and I'm fucking Natalie Dormer. That happened. I got to be like, all right, so I'm here. And I just happen to run into her. Like, there has to be a way for it to happen, for it to even be real in my mind. So with the NHL thing, I'm like, how does that happen? Like, all right, so I win the lottery. I invest well. And then I buy the fucking St. Louis Blues. I fucking buy the goddamn team, and I get to pick who the GM is. And then I get on the ice, whether they like it or not. Like that's the only way you can make it happen. Then you could do it. Like, if you were like that Scrooge McDuck tycoon who's like, owner, player, coach. like don't stop it just getting on the ice.
Jaromir Jagr is setting himself up for that. If he currently plays for the Florida Panthers, he's 45, just turned 45, I believe. Just had the most successful season of any hockey player in the NHL in history for someone over 44. So he's killing it this year. It's like him and Chelios and a couple other people, but the highest of that low bar. And he bought a team in Sweden or Switzerland or somewhere, Czechoslovakia. He bought a team over there in one of their leagues so that if the NHL ever says, honestly, you're just too old, he'll be like, all right, I'm going to go be the owner and the head center there. Doesn't matter if I'm not the best because I own the team. And I'll be coach. Fuck it. Fuck you. Like, yeah.
I'll build like a team around me. It'll be great. Imagine the vanity that unleashes in you. If you're like Sidney Crosby must really think his shit doesn't stink, right? You see it in the way he plays, the way he abuses the other players out there. He's not afraid of anything. He knew they weren't going to fucking suspend him or do anything relevant because of who he is. So he can fucking nut shot, chop fingers off, all that.
Someone got suspended for a nut shot just last night.
Not Sidney Crosby.
Not Sidney Crosby.
Kyle's mid-story, but Taylor, why doesn't Crosby get his ass kicked more? I mean, it's not hard to do,
just
right?
Him versus him.
Yeah, is there a McSorley on his line?
No, there's not on his line.
It's just because he declines fights all the time.
It's just that he declines, and if something happens, whereas someone like, I don't know, I'm trying to, like, who's the captain? Like Giroux. So if Giroux got in some shit for the Flyers, he would back it up with a fight if need be. But he's not going to jump into a fight headlong because he's so good that it's like, no, don't do that, you idiot. Like, let somebody else take the punch. That's the exact same thing with Crosby, but Crosby never jumps in a fight because there's literally no reason for him to ever be in a fight because he's the best player in the world. Like, when he gets in a fight, it's never like, man, you really motivated everyone. He would lose the fight for sure.
Yeah,
I would think. He's got a really powerful lower body. Like, he's one of the strongest guys in the league as far as that goes. Like, it's evident in his skating and his edge work, how fast he can change directions and so easily. But yeah, in a fight, I think he'd get tossed.
He's probably bottom 5% in NHL fighting, and I just wish he got in more fights.
And I don't think the Penguins have anybody. Maybe I just don't know the roster well enough. I don't think they have anybody that could really throw some haymakers. Who knows? I see. The NHL is not letting their players go to the Olympics in 2018. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. They've been talking about that for a while. They asked Wayne Gretzky about that. He owns a team. That's why, right?
He owns the Coyotes, I think.
Yeah. They asked him like his thoughts about that, and it was something like, we like to compete at the highest level and all that, but we kind of got our own thing going on here. It was one of those. And what he did say was like the biggest goal for a hockey player is the Stanley Cup. A gold medal is amazing. It's incredible. It's great, but we want the Stanley Cup. And that was the bottom line.
Like, globally, everybody knows that the Stanley Cup's the biggest trophy. Like, in hockey. It just is. But all they're doing with this is it's not a good way to grow the sport, which I don't like. And it makes it so that the only Winter Olympic event I ever watched anyway was hockey. I don't give a shit about luge or skiing.
The skeleton.
Like, that can be neat in highlight clips, but I'm not going to watch the whole thing. And if there aren't NHL players there, I'm not going to watch a bunch of minor leaguers and washed up guys who aren't in the league anymore hash it out. As Ovechkin already said, I don't care, I'm going anyway. And so Ovechkin's going. All the good Russians are going to end up going, I guarantee. So Tarasenko's going to go. So that kind of sucks for us. We're going to lose him next year. And now Sabotka, I guess that's 2. But all that means is if the NHL doesn't go to the Olympics in hockey, Russia is going to butt fuck everybody.
I've always thought that the Olympics kind of just butt fuck the good teams. You know, like if your team has some elite players on it, then your team's best players don't get rest. If you have a mediocre team, like you really want to be just not good enough to make the Olympics, you know, alternate style. And then those guys get full rest while all the stars come back broken and beat up.
I think there should be a different kind of Olympics for those. All right, so like Winter Olympics, if you're sending a team from like a tropical region, you shouldn't have to face off against like the fucking Canadas, Russias, and like I don't know, fucking Netherlands of the world or wherever the fuck skiing is incredibly popular. You know, like yeah, sure, the USA just because they got so much goddamn money, and we it's just absurd. Like we'll be good if there's something to be good at. We'll be good at it if we really want to. We just will, and we might just be the best at it because we'll just spend money until we are. But like if you're, you know, the best example I think is the Jamaican bobsled team, right? Like they shouldn't have to compete with some Canadian douchebags who've been bobsledding since birth. They should have to face off against like 3 guys like us from the USA who are well funded.
I feel like they shouldn't be allowed to compete, not shouldn't have to. Like they like because so I was a swimmer, right? I really think I could have made like Senegal's Olympic team.
You could have,
right?
Yeah, sure.
For most people in the world, Senegal's a tiny little country. I think on the eastern or western seaboard of Africa. You haven't heard of it. I'm sure their swim team sucks. I think I could have made it. I might still be able to make it. I don't know.
Yeah, they've all got food poisoning and shit.
Yeah.
like half the year. Like you're fine.
Yeah, they might not have a pool in that country, right?
They swim in sewage.
Well, they
Yeah.
have an
One of those
ocean.
countries.
They swim in Sweden.
The sharks get them all off the coast of Africa.
So, yeah, and I've always, like, sometimes you see these guys, and they can hardly, the 50-meter pool is big. Like, you have to be able to swim to get across it. And these fuckers can't even, like, finish a 200,
Oh,
right?
that's interesting. Think about the facilities required just to meet the bare minimum. That's always what it is with sport, right? What is the bare minimum it takes to make this happen in any region, right? Baseball, it's super fucking low. You need a field, a ball, and a bat.
Soccer.
You don't need the gloves. You don't have to have them. Soccer is super low. Just the ball, really. You can put sticks on the ground for a net. But when you get into swimming, and you have to have that Olympic-sized swimming pool, you know,
You do.
that's fucking expensive because it's a very specific distance you're measuring, right? Like I bet like a lot of people who are good at swimming know exactly how many strokes it takes to get to one side or the other. You might be fucking counting them in your head. Like I don't know what do you do as you're stroking and like in some sort of zone, I guess, some sort of water treading zone. Like what is is there any counting in your head? Are you looking at landmarks on the side of the pool or at the end?
I don't
to
know
time
if
things?
the elite guys are different, but there's a tee that is a certain distance from the wall, and that distance is very consistent. And as you're coming up to it, like you know where you are mid-stroke compared to where that tee is, and you start like preparing for your turn. Like, do you need to start short stroking it? Do you need to do a little glide toward the end so that you can do your turn at the exact right place?
Because I know in hurdles, for example, like there's a specific amount of steps you're supposed to be taking. It's like I think it's 3. I think 3 is optimal. It might be 4 that's optimal, but it's like 5 is like you're fucked. And like there's a very specific way to do it. I guess over the course of a 50-meter swimming pool, like that doesn't come into play as much. Not 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3.
Back to Woody's point of like the whole they shouldn't have to play against those countries. I think
shouldn't
arguably
get to play.
that they should definitely have to play against them because that's more fun. Like if there is.
That defeats like the whole purpose of an Olympic, which is like a global thing, and every country that has qualified has to like.
You're missing the point, though.
Not to mention, if Cambodia ever makes a hockey team, I want to see how they do against Russia, just to see how it pans out. Who knows? Miracle on Ice 2.0, Cambodia seizing some national pride.
They're all
against the
5'3".
But the Russians don't train that hard, Kyle.
That's true. Only in the winter.
I think they might.
They do. I was
Which is all year. That would be a funny Russian joke. He's like, we only train in winter time. And he's like, winter time is all year.
We
When
only
it's
train when snow is on the ground. Yeah.
But Taylor, to your point at the beginning of the discussion, why did the NHL? Is it the NHL?
Yeah,
Yes.
NHL.
NHL. Don't they allow their players
So,
to the
basically, the reason they wouldn't want to is my understanding is that they could, number one, get injured there, and Woody's just changed. I was gonna say, oh man, that's a record. Send them both away, but they don't want their players to get injured. So when they come back for the playoffs, I guess if that's what it is, or it's either that, or if it's not during the regular season, it's because they won't be fully rested. That's pretty funny, Woody.
That was hilarious.
Act himself.
To be honest, I've done that once.
That hurt
It's
more than
okay.
you might guess.
It does hurt.
Oh,
I have
God,
glasses.
stinks.
I did that once. I tangled like the cord with my glasses, and I just dropped my whole glasses in my eye. Yeah, that looked painful.
That's the feeling you get, like when you're laying on your back using your phone, and you're like going like this, and you drop your phone on your face, and it hits you.
Oh, I've
Like,
done that.
that's
so
that
many
same
times.
feeling. I feel like
When
such
I'm
a
in bed.
fucking idiot.
Oh,
Yeah.
this has to be worse.
When I'm in bed, I do that with my tablet, which I also have a thick
Your
case on it.
tablet.
Yeah, like my iPad. Look how thick this thing is. This is on an iPad Air. I've dropped it on my glasses, and so many
Yeah, you're
times.
dropping a solar panel on your face.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, about the NHL, because the NBA is also facing the kind of a similar problem right now because they play 82 games a season, and it has been a lot of injuries. There have been a lot of injuries, and a lot of players are just really tired. So I guess I get the point why they.
I'm
NHL
sure-
and
I'm
NBA
sure
have
nobody will
pretty
make
much
a gif of that.
identical
I'm
seasons.
safe.
Yeah, they play 82 games in the NHL.
Yep.
wow.
NHL, NBA both play 82 games, pretty much the same span, which is why I don't know anybody who's like a basketball and a hockey fan. It's always one or the other, because it would be. I mean, Bill Burr talks about it sometimes on his podcast. I haven't listened to that in a while, actually, but talking about baseball or hockey and basketball, and I'm just like, where are you finding the time to watch all? Like, these are two sports concurrently. And you're talking about football, which like kind of overlaps a bit. Like that, it's nothing but sports. But
I don't take any
No.
time to follow hockey. I look at the standings, I read the articles, and then there's some constants. Like Sidney Crosby will always be a pussy.
people were getting a little upset at you about that.
Oh no, anything but that.
No, I thought that was really funny though, because of all the things. It's like, he really is a good player though. I don't think Woody sees it. And it's like, no, do you think Woody is an idiot? Like, of course he sees it. He knows he's a good player. He's fucking with you. He's a Flyers fan. Like,